Hey, Brian, can you try talking again?
With it on.
Turn
Well,
on.
it's live now. So turn your mic.
Joined by Cole Isaacson. Cole, it's good to be back.
Absolutely, Brian. Trinity going for their first sweep of the season after beating Concordia in Game 1 and Game 2. Have not swept a team yet, going for their third straight series victory, which they achieved last night with the Game 2 victory. And going for the first sweep today should be fun.
Always fun when you can have some Sunday morning baseball. And on the mound for the Trinity Tigers, Jackson Tier, looking to bounce back from his outing last week against Babson. Went 4 innings, gave up 7 hits and 8 runs, although just 3 of those were earned. So after a great debut, Tier looking to establish his dominance yet again on the mound.
Yeah, not the best outing for him last weekend. He'd be the first to tell you that, but was not helped out defensively. Several errors, allowing a lot of runs by a Babson, 8 in total, but only 3 earned runs for number 40 on the mound. Was able to collect the victories in Game 1 and Game 2. Hopes to do that in his Game 4 of his season.
First pitch from Tier, a strike to Johannes Hawkinson, the leadoff hitter for the Falcons. And another one in there. Quick 0-2 start for the San Antonio native. Tier going down and away, misses.
Still using that breaking ball a lot, Brian. Relied on it a lot these last 3 starts, trying to get it back in a groove.
Tier wanted the outside corner there. Umpire says not quite. So Hawkinson evens the count at 2. Just a picture-perfect day in the Alamo City. Tier looking inside, gets it there, but the bat gets there as well, right into the glove of the third baseman, Lustina.
Michael Lustina making his 3rd start of the series. Only had 2 starts before this, but showing his impact in the batter's box and as well on the diamond.
Daniel Hahn stepping into the batter's box now. That's a strike on the outside part.
Jackson Tier, unique ability to locate that breaking ball wherever he wants, changing the eye level of the hitter and then going inside, outside.
Goes outside, gets a chopper. Lustina charging in, makes the throw and the perfect delivery to Tinker.
Great defensive play by Michael Lustina. Able to step up and make the play. With this turf, you have to play it a little further in front of you to make the play. Able to kind of run up and throw at the same time as he gets the 2nd out of the inning. But a tough challenge here in Sean Tillman.
And I think the Falcons were just wanting to make sure Lustina was awake on this early morning start, and he sure is. A couple of plays early for 2 outs. And this is what Jackson Tier likes to do, right? He likes to throw strikes, put the ball into play, and let his defense work. 2 batters in, it's working. Strike on the inside corner.
Had that great quote in our first meeting. He said, "I like to beat the hitters, and I don't like to beat myself."
Sean Tillman puts wood on this one, and it gets down into the gap. Cut off by the right fielder, but it's not going to be in time to prevent a double for Tillman. Not even Verver's great arm out there in right was going to get him in time.
Sean Tillman, an impact player for these Falcons. Haven't seen too much of it in these last 2 games, but already a leadoff double for him in his first at-bat. And with 2 outs, Concordia has a runner in scoring position.
First pitch to Jurgensen, misses outside. The junior from Cedarburg, Wisconsin. Very bright colors on your screen today, maroon and blue. The maroon gets in there for a strike.
It's an important time for Concordia, trying to get the lead here. Haven't been playing with the lead a little bit in game one as that game went back and forth, but overall playing from behind most of the time, so trying to get on top of Trinity right now.
Little two-seam action there from Tier. Takes the count to 2 balls, 1 strike. Even though the Tigers have won the series, we know how important it is to win that final game of any series, especially when it's on a Sunday getaway day. Either way, someone will be feeling good after this one. Tigers and Falcons both hoping it's them. And especially Concordia having to fly so far to go back home. They want to make that flight a happy one. Signs delivered by Lazera. Now Tier ready for the 2-2. Chop to the right side. No problem there for Tinker. And the runner stranded on second base. So a double for the Falcons, but that's it. Jackson Tier, a scoreless top of the first. Tigers coming to bat after this. Welcome back to Tiger Network. You get a look at the starting lineup for the Trinity Tigers. At DH, leading off, Christian Holloway. Batting second, the first baseman, Kai Tinker. Batting third, the catcher, Nicholas Lazera. Batting cleanup, the third baseman, Michael Lustina. Batting fifth, the center fielder, Ezra Gore. Batting sixth, the shortstop, Michael Montreza. In left field, batting seventh, Hunter Nevels. Batting eighth, the second baseman, Colt Harris. And Trey Verver batting ninth in right field. And it'll all get going for the maroon and white with Christian Holloway, who shows butt on the first pitch, but then pulls it back.
Not a lot of new names in that lineup that we're used to seeing. Only 3. Holloway being one of them. Did not see any action in game 1 or game 2, but had 2 home runs in the weekend before.
Delivery from Brockner, a strike. That is Luke Brockner, the sophomore from Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. Tall left-handed pitcher there, 6'2", 195. Has one go right past his glove. A line drive single by Christian Holloway.
Not quite the leadoff home run he had against Babson last weekend, but a good start for number 6. Able to put it right up the middle and get the Tigers going early.
If there's one thing we know about Christian Holloway, when he's in there, he will hit. Coach Scannell deciding to go to him at the top of the lineup, designated hitter. And even though he hasn't had action this weekend, It's a rotating lineup that'll try to keep guys active as much as possible. Tinker, first pitch swinging, 6, 4, not in time to 3. Too slow of a ground ball. Didn't allow Hahn to eventually turn it, so 1 away. Tinker replaces the runner at first.
Concordia was able to get 2 of these in game 1. Not able to turn it here. Really close, though, as Hahn was just able to hang on to it, not risking the throw. But a tough challenge here with a guy on first and Nick Lazera coming up.
And we get to see Nick Lazera from the right side. Don't see it all too often, but the switch hitter puts in the reps on both sides, and here he is from the right. Looks at a breaking ball for strike 1. He's naturally a right-handed hitter, but early on in his life, he started doing both. And he does everything else with the right hand. But when it comes to baseball, he can do it all. Pickoff attempt at first sends Tinker back. And he has said it, Cole. He has to work twice as hard as anybody. He has to put in the reps left-handed and right-handed. And he still manages to mash at the plate. Awaiting the 0-1 here, but he'll have to keep waiting. Another pickoff move on Tinker.
Coach Scannell, anytime you talk about people who can hit, Nick Lazera going to be one of the first names he mentions, telling teammates that you should watch him hit and hit with him when given the chance.
Runner going, breaking ball, gives Tinker a good advantage, and he slides in safely.
Able to put himself into scoring position. Similar situation that Concordia just had. Runner in scoring position. We'll see if the Tigers are able to bring Kai Tinker across.
Tinker now 3 for 3 on the year when it comes to stolen base attempts. Gets around that one to the shortstop. Takes his time on the throw and retires Lazera. 2 outs now in the bottom of the first. Tinker moves over to third.
Lazera able to do his job here. Gets on top of this one as it spikes early. But able to get Kai Tinker over to third base, and Lustina has a chance to bring in the first run of the game.
And what a start to his career it has been. After not playing at all last year, didn't play in the first few games, but now the cleanup hitter. Shows you exactly what this team thinks about him, number 21. A little biased here, that is the greatest number, so that certainly helps him out. Takes a pitch outside. Sophomore from Austin, Texas. Trying to get the Tigers on the board. Tinker over there at third. He had a fielder's choice, but has scurried over there during the inning. Now, he'll try to head home, but the third baseman gathers it and makes the clean throw to first. Nice job by Flynn to read the hop and retire the side. So both teams leave a runner in scoring position. Falcons on second, Tigers on third. We're headed to the top of the second in San Antonio. tied up at 0 in the top of the second. Concordia now up to bat. First pitch foul. Matt Miller, the first year from Fredonia, Wisconsin.
Good day at the plate yesterday. Started his career 3 for 3. One of the bright spots offensively for Concordia, only able to muster 1 run yesterday. But that was not because of him.
Tier able to go inside, and that's something that has made him consistent early on. His ability to go on the inside part of the plate isn't the most comfortable for any pitcher, but if they can do it, it makes them so much more effective. Because now, look, Lazera setting up outside, although the pitch not going to get there, and you see the result. A punch hit into right field. The intention was to go from the inside part to then the breaking ball outside, but this replay will show not where Tier wanted it, and 4 for 4 now in the career, so he should just keep it going.
Yeah, 3 hits yesterday, keeping it going. Matt Miller can hit and continues it today, right up the middle, just like he did several times yesterday.
We go from freshman to senior, Dylan Fike. Breaking ball, runner going. Lazera will look to see if there's room, but there is not. Fike takes his time to get back in the box. Now Tier will make him wait longer. Both pitchers utilizing the pickoff. Lazera sways inside. Ground ball to short. Gets to it. On to second for the out. Montreza. A nice jump throw to get the lead runner.
Montreza, good play here. Able to turn basically all the way around and make the throw the short way, get the quick out. And the lead runner, very valuable for Trinity to stop them from getting into scoring position.
Kyle Flynn looks at a pickoff attempt, trying to keep Fike there now. The Music City native takes the ball outside. Nashville, Tennessee. Sophomore has to take a step back to avoid that pitch. And he's ahead in the count here.
From Nashville, not so sure he's used to only having 5 outdoor practices to start a season, but that's what Concordia had to deal with.
Off-speed pitch misses outside for Jackson Tier, and so now he falls behind and is threatening to do something he doesn't do a whole lot. That's walk a hitter. We'll see if he can get back in it. A strike down the middle there. Runner going, but it won't matter. The arm did not come up from the umpire. That's a walk, even though the second base umpire looked to signal out. It'll be runners on first and second for the Falcons.
And had the steal on, but ball 4, so not going to matter, even though it looks like they got him at second.
In Tier's 18th inning of work, just his 5th walk of the season. Mentioned how he likes to keep it in the zone. But Flynn able to lay off, and now an opportunity for the bottom of the order to come through.
Yeah, that's Jackson Tier. Hit the zone, not beating himself. He's going to make the hitters beat him. And they do every now and then. For the most part, Jackson Tier has had a lot of success with that and not a lot of walks.
Sterling Armstrong standing tall from the right side. Big swing and a miss.
There's that ability to put that breaking ball in different positions. We've seen him go high and inside with it and then low and outside. And gets the swing and miss. Ahead 0-2 now.
Way outside. Armstrong making his debut this year. Trying to get it off on the right foot, a big swing. And he was right on it, but straight back into the net. Can hear the encouragement coming from the Falcon dugout. Fike on second, Flynn on first. The 1-2. Bounced up the middle. Montreza takes it to the bag himself and turns the double play all on his own. Just what Tier wanted. Put a couple of men on, but got ahead in this count, then forced the weak contact that his shortstop took care of. So after 1.5, it's all tied up at 0, headed to the bottom of the second.
Now batting for Trinity, center fielder number 4, Ezra Gore.
Bottom of the second in San Antonio, Ezra Gore will be the hitter. Looping breaking ball, strike number 1.
Talked about it yesterday. Ezra Gore, no hits in his first 4 games, but a hit in every one of them since, which is what he said he'd do. Said the first one was the hardest, but once you get one, you can get them rolling. And here he is.
Sun shining off the brim of his helmet, fouls it the other way. We knew it would come sooner or later. Ezra Gore, a 31-game hit streak last year. And here's some good contact. Pulls it to left. Center fielder's not going to get there. Bounces off the base of the wall. Gore with a stand-up double to lead off the second inning.
This one gonna fall just short, but finds that gap. Sometimes it's about placement. Hits this ball really hard, as that's just a hanging breaking ball to Ezra Gore, which is not a good idea for any pitcher. Puts it off the wall, not gonna skip over, but only takes 2 anyways.
So now Michael Montreza, nobody out, runner on second. He'll swing at the first pitch. He'll put it into left field past the dive of the shortstop. Runners at the corners with nobody out for the Tigers.
This is a great job by Matt Miller, as I thought that Gore was going to charge and come around, but Matt Miller able to recover quickly, get up on that single, and keep the runner at third in Ezra Gore.
Montreza with that hit, once again approaching 300. It's been a solid start at the plate for the fifth-year shortstop. And now Hunter Nevels, the senior from Corpus Christi, looking to do a little damage. Showing bunt on the first pitch and pulls it back. Five games played for Nevels this year. 4 of them have been starts. Only hitting 154, but the hit he did come up with, a walk-off winner against Hardin Simmons. Lines it past the third baseman into left for a base hit. 3 hits to start the inning, put the Tigers up 1-0.
Hunter Nevels continuing to rack up the RBIs, this time going to bring in Ezra Gore. It's just going to take this one the other way through that gap. Does exactly what he needs to do, and now the Tigers are further in business, this time with a lead.
A 1-0 advantage, and Colt Harris looking to add to it. A double by Gore, singles by Montreza and Nevels. Montreza bouncing around there at second. Another first pitch swing, this time foul. So the Tigers aggressive here against the pitcher Bruckner. Harris taking a look at the third base coach, Andrew Waters. Now feels comfortable with the game plan. Bruckner sets and deals. Breaking ball. Harris was swinging with the runners going, and they'll have to mosey on back to their bases. Looks like a hit and run there for the Tigers.
Big opportunity for Trinity. Nobody out, 2 on, a chance to get an early large lead. Only up 1-0. We've seen Concordia's ability to climb back into games, especially in game 1. Trying to get ahead on this one early.
0-2 on the way. Skied out to center field. Underneath it there. And the runner tagging, so here comes the throw. Montreza in there safely. Hawkinson had to range just enough to his left, and that allowed Montreza to move over. So runners at the corners once again. Nevels did not move over.
Yeah, tough to move from first to second on that position, but Montreza able to tag and go. That throw, the timing wasn't bad, just a little offline, so Montreza just able to walk in. But runners at the corners for Trinity trying to extend this lead with Trey Verver.
Breaking ball, not hitting the outside part. And Trey Verver, another sophomore just like Lustina, also from the Austin area, Cedar Park. He's looking to get hit number 1 in this 2023 campaign. Takes another ball outside, ahead in the count, 2-0.
We've seen the arm defensively from Trey Verver, still hoping for that first hit for number 22. Would be a good time to get it here for Trinity, as it would extend their lead.
Goes the other way, the inside out swing will drive home another. Base hit number 1 for Trey Verver this year, and it puts the Tigers up 2-0.
Good piece of hitting here from Trey Verver. Able to find a spot, and another run driven in for the Tigers as they take a 2-0 lead early in this one.
Mark Anthony playing means Christian Holloway stepping to the plate. Bottom of the second inning, and the Tigers jumping ahead 2-0. Still with work to do. The bunt pulled back, as it's been all 3 times now that the Tigers have shown it.
Saw Holloway do some damage over the fence against Babson. If he does that here, that could blow this game open. As he's in a three-way tie with a home run lead.
Still very early on. Ball hasn't quite been flying out of this ballpark as it usually is, but as the weather gets warmer in San Antonio, don't be surprised to start seeing those balls sail out of here. A Sunday afternoon like this, weather in the 70s, could be the day. Holloway behind 0-2. Other way. Foul. Holloway trying to will it fair. Was running down the baseline just in case, but Brockner will get another chance at it.
That's one of those you're never going to be able to tell until it gets down. Not going the Tigers' way on that one, as it does land clearly foul. But that could have been very dangerous had that hit the line or on the other side of it.
Tower ringing in the background, signaling the 12 p.m. hour. Officially afternoon. The changeup gets Holloway to swing and miss for strike 3. Big punch out there for Brockner.
Good low pitch, going to get him to swing over it, and a huge strikeout as the Tigers went down to their last out, even though they have 2 on.
Number 33 by Tinker.
Brockner taking a step off here before Tinker can get to the plate. Now delivers to Tinker, the breaking ball, strike 1.
Really nice pitch, going to start way wide and work its way back in.
Ball misses low to even it up at 1 ball, 1 strike. Tinker, who in his first 3 seasons had a grand total of 8 at-bats, already well past that in his senior season. A story that we have heard over and over when you saw Cedric Bowman yesterday get some base hits for the first time. We've seen Austin Davis in there in the lineup, this senior class of Tigers, waiting their turn, putting the work in, and now getting their opportunities. After 10 seniors graduated last year, including 5 everyday regulars in the starting lineup, we knew there was going to be some holes. We knew there were going to be some opportunities. And the Tigers starting to fill them up. Tinker behind 1-2. Pulls that one, but it'll go foul into the Tigers bullpen. Maybe even well over it.
Just ahead of this one. Gonna whip it left field side towards the pool. Don't think that ball quite took a dip, but Tinker was all over that pitch.
Waits back on that one, so he takes the count to 2-2. Neville's hanging around there on second, and Verver at first. 4 Tiger base hits in the inning, 2 runs. Tinker trying to make it more, but he will not. Swings over the top of that one. Fike has to collect it though, and he is not able to. The catcher, Fike, sliding to the ground to recover the 3rd strike. Tinker, a heads-up play to not waste any time getting to first, and instead of the inning ending, it'll be bases loaded for the Tigers. A missed opportunity there for the Falcons.
Still go down as a strikeout for Bruckner. But now, as you hear, that's Amore. Bases loaded, Nick Lazara up.
15, Nick Lazara.
And if there's one person you don't want to give a second opportunity to, it is Nick Lazara. First pitch swinging, a line drive the other way. It's a foul ball. Armstrong, the first baseman there, helping the umpires decide. We'll take a look at how close it was. So that's a couple now. First Holloway, now Lazara. Base is full of Tigers in the bottom of the second. 2 away in the inning. Bruckner trying to get out of it. Breaking ball, soft ground ball to short. Charging in, the throw in time to retire Lazera. Big response there by Bruckner after the strike 3 that should have ended the inning, loaded the bases. Able to get past the power hitting catcher. But 4 hits to 2 runs for the Tigers put them up to headed to the top of the third in San Antonio.
Trinity in the second inning. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors, 3 left on base.
Welcome back to Tiger Network. Just a gorgeous 70 degrees and sunny in San Antonio. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else in March, Cole. I mean, this seems like a lot better than, say, maybe Massachusetts, where it's bitterly cold right now.
Absolutely. Babson just coming in last weekend from Massachusetts. Talked about how they can't really get outside that much, similar to Concordia, Wisconsin. But yeah, 70 degrees in San Antonio. That seems a little bit better.
I mean, I think anybody watching from Wisconsin would agree, although it's kind of warm up there for this time of year. 40 degrees in Mequon, Wisconsin, home of the Concordia Falcons. Tier tries to dot the inside part, misses there. Now a 2-run lead to work with. Little foul tip to the plate. Over 400 schools in Division III, and they are spread out across the country. So much great action happens from corner to corner, including here in the great Lone Star State. And we are very fortunate to be at the heart of it all in the metropolitan city that is San Antonio, home of Jackson Tier. And that was a big part of what brought him back to the Alamo City, transferring from Texas A&M Kingsville, a Division II program, because he felt that he was better off at home. And so far, he certainly has been. The 2-2 from Tier, a little breaking ball, ground bottom on Trezza. No problem for him on the grounder, but then the throw a little wide. Tinker can't hold on to it.
I am curious to see this replay because I thought Tinker got the tag in time.
He did
No,
get it in
lost the
time, but it
ball.
popped out.
Yep. Lost the ball at the end. So base runner will reach. And we'll see how Jackson Tier is able to overcome that. Gets the soft contact, just needs to do it again and then likely get out of this inning.
Falcons turn the lineup over to the top. Hawkinson, swing and a miss, strike 1. Falcons have now had a runner on in each of the first 3 innings, just haven't been able to bring him around. Hawkinson lays off, 1-1.
It's a similar story these prior 2 games. Joseph Shavana got the leadoff runner on first base 3 times by way of a walk. Concordia not able to bring him in all the time.
Good swing here, but the center fielder Gore underneath it, first out of the inning.
Jackson Tier once again hitting the zone. Just going to force Hawkinson to get under this one and let his defense play it behind him. And that's how Jackson Tier operates. It's been very successful for the most part throughout his Trinity career.
Runner has to get back in a hurry, pickoff move. And he felt not surprised by it. Daniel Hahn, his second appearance at the plate. Send it the other way, foul. Had a very solid year for the Falcons. In 2022, hit .257. Lines it to second. Harris gathers on to Montreza. Over to Tinker. Double play. An error to start the inning, but the infield defense recovers. And as Jackson Tier loves to do, double play machine.
Able to force another one here. Jackson Tier's defense playing well behind him. Not something that you could say out of his last outing. Defense did not support him in that game, but very different story today. It's 3 straight zeros on the board, largely because of it.
We'll head to the bottom of the third. Trinity 2, Concordia, Wisconsin 0.
Bottom of the third, leading off for the Tigers, number 21, Michael Lustina.
Michael Lustina to lead off the bottom of the third for the Maroon and White. First pitch strike to Lustina.
Lustina collecting the RBI earlier today. Another one to his season total.
Takes a ball outside there. Good off-speed delivery for Brockner to get ahead in the count. Ran into some trouble last inning. Able to limit it, though, to just 2 runs, keeping his team squarely in the game. Now gets the cleanup hitter to swing over it. The catcher has it this time and delivers to first for the out.
And nearly a big moment in the game last inning when strike 3 turned into the bases loaded, but able to get out of it. And this time, Fike able to collect that ball in the dirt and make the throw to first for the out.
Not fooled by that breaking ball is Gore to start off his at-bat. Another close one goes in the favor of the center fielder.
Hardin Simmons in town last night. It's only fitting that Ezra Gore up to bat as his football team defeated Hardin Simmons in the first round of their playoff run. As we have a ball onto the field.
Come on, guys, in the bullpen. Keep it in the bullpen. Happened a couple of times with that new arrangement. A shorter fence means more onto the field. As Rigor says, let me send one your way this time, bullpen. It'll be foul. But you're absolutely right, Cole. Hardin Simmons has to be quite tired of Trinity this year. Women's soccer, Men's basketball, women's basketball, football, tennis, track and field. It's been all Tigers against the Cowboys and the Cowgirls this year.
And I'm sure they're happy to keep it that way.
Two misses outside. Gore takes the count full. And he is such a stud on both the football gridiron and the baseball diamond. First team all-region in baseball a year ago. And also making the all-conference team in football. Here, a line drive. Right into the glove of the center fielder, so the counterparts meet up. Hawkinson sending Gore back to the dugout. 2 quick outs for Brockner.
Said it on the broadcast yesterday. Coach Morgan raves about Johannes Hawkinson in center field. Not too much of a difficult play for him there. Hit right at him, but says he runs like a deer. Pretty much able to get anything that's hit his way.
The outfielders here will tell you the hardest ball to field is the one hit right at you. So even though it doesn't look too difficult, that is a tough play to make, especially with the bright sun out there. But like you said, the deer out there in center field. Hawkinson making the play. And Brockner trying to get a 1-2-3 inning. First has to go through Montreza. Got a single in his first at-bat. Takes a breaking ball for a strike.
Going back to the sun, we saw a few get lost out there, especially in right field in game 1. Both teams losing balls in the sun.
Montreza goes down to get it. But the sun, not a problem for Miller out in left. That's a 1-2-3 inning for Brockner. Concordia, Wisconsin coming to bat in the 4th, looking to make a little noise.
With the Tigers in the 3rd inning, no runs, no hits, no errors. No players left on. Half 3 complete. Trinity 2 and Concordia 0.
Falcons have had a runner on in each of the first 3 innings, but still no runs on the board. The heart of their order will try to alter that. Sean Tillman, the senior from Illinois, will lead it off here against Jackson Tier. First pitch, strike from Tier.
Sean Tillman had the double to open up this game, hit .380 last season. Talking to Coach Morgan about him, says he's a cage rat. Works on his craft more than anyone else he's ever seen. Is constantly working and working to get better at hitting. And you see the production that he gets. As at any level, .380 is absolutely ridiculous.
Gets some contact here to Montreza. Goes in to get it. The throw picked by Tinker for the out.
Michael Montreza has been a busy man today. Gets another one his way. And good job by Kai Tinker, able to pick that one. It can be a little difficult as a first baseman when that ball lands like right in front of you. And it's a very short pick, but Kai Tinker able to handle it well there.
Especially good job by Tinker, considering that for most of his career, he would practice out at third base, and he still does from time to time. A slow roller to Tier, no problem for the pitcher, so a quick second out. But Tinker over there at first, looking as if he's been there his whole career.
Absolutely part of that revolving door at first base with Corson Hastings and then Brandon Nelson and potentially Nicholas Zara when Tyler Pettit comes back, and a whole host of players that can play that position. But Kai Tinker has shown that he is really capable of filling in that spot and gets 2 starts at that position in 3 games this series.
Breaking ball, first pitch strike to Miller. And we are seeing prime Jackson Tier today, working quickly, making them put it into play, and gets ahead of the count 0-2. Still no strikeouts for Tier. He did have that one rare walk earlier, but other than that, it has been soft contact winning the day. A pair of double plays, letting his defense do the work. What will he go to on 0-2? Outside, ball 1.
And he's shown that he can win different ways. Against Hardin Simmons, 10 strikeouts. Season high by a lot. Today, nothing. But still, no damage done on the scoreboard. So Jackson Tier can beat you many ways.
Strike 3 called on the outside corner. That's a 1-2-3 inning for Jackson Tier, and the Tigers will hold on to a 2-0 lead, headed to the bottom of the 4th.
4th inning for Concordia. 3 up, 3 down. Headed to the bottom of the 4th, still 2-0.
Welcome back to Tiger Network. Tigers up 2-0 on the Concordia-Wisconsin Falcons.
Leading off for the Tigers, number 37, Hunter Neville.
Hunter Nevels will lead it off for the maroon and white. Brockner still on the mound, gave up those 2 runs in the 2nd inning, but got out of a bases-loaded jam to keep it there. Misses to start this one, but he had a 1-2-3 inning his last time out there. Maybe settling in a little bit after some early game nerves.
Yeah, settling in, but also you see his ability to work kind of similar to Jackson Tier. Throw pitches to different parts of the strike zone. We saw him go low and outside for several sequences and then bring it up and inside. So you see his ability to hit the different parts of the plate.
Bounces in the turf. Fike takes a tumble there behind the dish.
Brockner working with a lot of off-speed stuff today, as most of his stuff seems to be breaking.
Nice looper there. Gets another swing and a miss, so that is clearly a pitch that is working for him so far. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Brockner's off speed and breaking stuff. Working well in the bottom of the 3rd and now the bottom of the 4th. So Nevels will gather his gear, head back to the dugout, and bring up Colt Harris with 1 away.
Yeah, both of these pitchers seem to be really settled in. The difference is that one of them is a 2-run lead, and the other's just got to hold this deficit and hope his offense can get something going.
Just underneath it. Harris to left field for the 2nd out. You could hear the frustration after he hit it. It was a good pitch to hit, but it'll stay in the park, and those are 2 more quick outs for Brockner. So going back to the bases loaded situation, he got that out, then a 1-2-3 inning. Now 2 here, that's 6 in a row, retired by number 37.
Yeah, definitely settling in, but going back to Colt Harris, that is one that he would want back. Just gets under it, as you said. But Brockner really working his stuff today. And we'll see which offense can figure it out first.
There's another slow one that doesn't draw a swing. Verver went the other way with a base hit his first time. Goes there again with a little check me swing. First baseman takes care of it, though he had to hurry there at the end, and that's 2 consecutive clean innings for Brockner. Concordia, Wisconsin, their offense having the opportunity to stay in it. We'll see what they come up with after this short break.
Top of the 5th, leading off for Concordia. Catcher number 4, Dylan Fike.
Jackson Tier will have to keep pitching perfectly. Offense only getting him 2 runs in the second. Nothing since. Concordia hanging around. Leadoff hitter Fike, the catcher, looks at ball 1.
And Concordia really good at hanging around. Even saw it last night. They lost 7-1, but 3 runs put up in the bottom of the 8th for Trinity. Able to put it away, but for most of that game, Concordia within 4 or 3. And in game 1, a roller coaster. Lead changes aplenty in that one. These Falcons really tough and can hang in any game.
They are looking for their first win of the year. A season that got started later than some of the teams in the South. Understandable, since the weather doesn't really permit baseball from happening in the North. That certainly explains why Concordia is in Texas here to start their year. Then they're headed to Arizona very soon for a tournament. Ground ball foul, takes the count full.
It's an interesting time for Concordia. Talked about it a little bit yesterday, but the last 2 games on that Arizona trip started a 6-game losing streak for them. It really set them back for the rest of their season. So hoping to get on the right track with that Arizona trip and then continue that into the middle of their season.
Line drive up the middle. That's a base hit for Fike. Patient at bat, takes it full and then takes it to center field. So a leadoff runner for the Falcons. Now 4 of the 5 innings with the base runner on.
Yep, really good with lead-off hitters. It continues right up the middle. Dylan Fike up and inside, just able to fight it off. And Concordia trying to get something going. A good start for them to do that.
Kyle Flynn, the next to bat. He turns on one, sends it to left field, but it'll go foul. Watch out in the pool yet again.
Third ball we've seen hit hard in that direction, just ahead of that pitch. That was a good one to mash.
And you're seeing some adjustment from the Falcon hitters. Tier has been working inside consistently, and now they're expecting it. You saw the base hit to start this inning was a pitch up and in. You said able to just fight it off, and that one turning too much on the pitch inside, but what that suggests is that they are looking for it. So we'll see what adjustment Tier and Lazera make. Breaking ball freezes the hitter. Takes the count 0-2.
But while Matt Flynn's up, something we want to bring up. We said that he's from Nashville. Jackson Tier, a Tennessee Titans fan. So I'm wondering if they have anything to talk about after this game.
Slider misses away for Tier. I can only imagine you're a Titans fan in Texas because you were maybe once an Oilers fan and then they moved, so you stuck with them. Although I don't know if Tier is old enough for that.
Tier definitely not old enough for that, but if he inherited a team from his parents, because the Oilers left, I believe, in '96 and became the Tennessee Oilers and were in Memphis for a few years. Then they moved to Nashville and became the Tennessee Titans in '99. The Houston Texans were not a franchise until 2002. So there is a gap where you become a fan of the Titans while you're in Texas.
He said they might have something to talk about, but the only thing to talk about for Tier is a strikeout, the first one of the afternoon for him. So he sends his Nashville buddy to the dugout. And the pickoff nearly gets the runner back at first, but he's in there safely. Inning will continue with one away. Armstrong coming to bat.
Yeah, just as we think they're getting to figure him out, Jackson Tier pulls out a strikeout as he puts Flynn back to the dugout, but trying to get out of this inning. Still a guy on first he has to worry about.
I think you fired him up talking about the Titans. I think Jackson could really feel you there. Sends a breaking ball. That is delivered into left field by Armstrong. So the strikeout sandwiched in between two base hits for the Falcons. They've got runners at first and second, just one away in the top of the fifth.
Yeah, another off-speed pitch, breaking ball, Jackson Tier's favorite. So a little station-to-station baseball for the Falcons as they try and carve out this deficit a little bit.
Can they reach the final station, though? That's home plate. They haven't yet. It'll be up to Neufeld to do it here. And he's first pitch swinging a deep drive into left center field. No one's going to get there. Off the wall, Gore has to collect it. One run already across. The second will hold up at third. The Falcons with an RBI double from Neufeld, and they have runners in second and third with just one out.
Yep, sitting on that breaking ball, going down to get it, and going to put it right in that gap between right field and center field. Ezra Gore able to play it off the wall and make the throw to home. Surprised the runner from third didn't come around. I thought he would have made it based on when that throw ended up getting there. Would have been close. But either way, Trinity hanging on to a 2-1 lead.
That ball just hit so hard that it did not allow Armstrong to get around from first, but the Falcons do find that final station for the first time. Now that they have, looking to do it again. Foul ball on the first pitch. And now the Falcons taking a little bit out of the Tigers' playbook. When the Tigers scored their runs, they were swinging at the first pitch over and over. Seems like the Falcons have made that adjustment, and somebody has noticed because there's a visit to the mound on the way from Dave Smith and Nick Lazera.
Yeah, visit to the mound. We'll see if this is a change or a talk. Has not gone very deep into. There's not a lot of pitch count for Jackson Tier, so I would imagine this is just a conversation, trying to figure out how to get out of this. We saw Shavana in a lot of similar situations with guys on second and third, able to get out of those and hold Concordia to one run for a large part of that game he was in. Jackson Tier will try and do the same and hang on to this lead.
Pitching coach Dave Smith, a big reason for the turnaround that the Tiger pitchers have seen this year after a 6.29 ERA last year, the worst since 1999. It is in the twos. We rapidly approach the middle point of this season, which is hard to believe, but we are. First pitch after the visit, a swing and a miss. Falcons trying to take advantage of this great opportunity presented to them in the fifth. Already one driven in by Neufeld. Hawkinson represents the leadoff hitter in the lineup, but trying to act like a cleanup hitter. He is behind 0-2. The pitch inside, a fly ball. Shallow outfield. Gore calls it off. Runner not tagging, although the runner at second didn't see it. Now he's caught in a pickle. Niefelt. Montreza tags him, and the runner doesn't come across to score, so that's out number 3. A double play in the most unconventional fashion. Niefelt and Armstrong not on the same page at all on the base pass, and that's going to cost the Falcons some chances for runs.
Yeah, not on the same page. That ball hit way too shallow to tag. As Niefelt wanting to go, Armstrong did not, but caught in the pickle before they could even realize it, and a huge double play for Trinity.
And so many heads-up plays there for the Tigers. First, Montreza to right away tag him, not let that pickle drag out, because if the run would have come across to score before the out was applied, it would have counted, even if the third out then happened after. So good job by him, good job by Gore to get it into the infield quickly. And I believe it was Tinker who cut off the throw from the outfield in the first place. So the Tiger defense doing their job, just like they have for Jackson Tier all day. That time, not what they necessarily expect, but it shows you have to be prepared for any situation.
Absolutely. That was definitely something they wanted to improve on coming out of that Babson series. That's how they felt they let Game 3 get away. Could have swept Babson. They thought they were really close despite the score of that game. And they thought it was the defense in large part that let it get away. Not today, as that's maintained their lead, basically.
And for the Tigers, it's been a great start to the year. Even though they have a couple losses in that column, you take a look at what they've done. Birmingham Southern, Hardin-Simmons, Babson, now Concordia. Teams coming from all over the country, very quality opponents. The Tigers started the year ranked in the top 5. Now they've fallen to 10, but the reason they're still 10 despite those losses is because of the quality of their opponents. They could have easily won a series from Birmingham Southern, who is now at the very top of that poll, number 2. Just a couple of plays go the other way, Tigers would have won that series. So it looks like people around the country are paying attention to the games themselves, not just the results.
Yeah, games themselves, those games could have gone either way. Even in Game 1 where they lost by 3, had the tying run at the plate. So really giving it to Birmingham Southern, and Birmingham Southern showing their offensive prowess since they've left San Antonio.
Tell me about it. As the first pitch of this inning, a strike to Holloway. They went on to absolutely wreck everybody that came into Alabama. Millsaps, East Texas Baptist, and LaGrange among those. Holloway's grounder to second. Nice play there by Hahn to retire the first out. But it just goes to show the job this Trinity pitching staff has done to keep that offense relatively quiet before they went on to put runs after runs after runs.
Only one time they've allowed 10 runs this season. That was against Babson in the game where the defense did not play its best. Jackson Tier, 8 runs allowed, only 3 of them earned. So that, how much is that even on the pitching at that point?
Not much at all. Brockner has been doing a nice job keeping the Tiger offense quiet since allowing those 2 runs. Falcons rewarding him with 1 run. Breaking ball outside, called a strike. And now Brockner working very quickly. Looking to go outside again, does. Tinker meets it with the bat, sends the center fielder back. It's carrying, and it's off the wall. Hawkinson just kept running and running. Tinker will head to third. The throw not in time. That's a triple for Kai Tinker.
Gonna get it behind Hawkinson. This one gonna hit the wall. Another breaking ball, shocker from Brockner. Gonna hit the wall. Play not able to be made, but gonna get away from Hawkinson. Tinker, great awareness to see that. Knows he wants 3 once he sees that ball away. Gonna go and take it.
So the Deer not quite fast enough there in center. Lazera, another opportunity to drive in a run. Left the bases loaded. In his last time at the plate, looking to bring home Tinker. Takes the first pitch strike.
Both of these teams trying to capitalize with runners in scoring position. We've talked about it a little bit. Game 1 and Game 2, that's been a big story. A lot of opportunities to put a lot more runs on the board for both of these squads. Trinity trying to extend their lead here.
Fans at that one, does Lazera. Falls behind 0-2. Infield is playing in for the Falcons. Shows just how much they value runs. They've struggled to put them across all weekend long. And they can really not afford to get much further behind. Lazera takes it the other way. It will be a hit for him. Tinker will come around to score. And the right fielder, Neufeld, thought about it for a moment, didn't want to dive, and it cost his team a run.
That is winning baseball from Nick Lazera, finding a way to put that ball in play behind the infield. You don't need to hit it very hard. We know Nick Lazera can, and we haven't seen him not hit it hard very often. But finding a way to get that ball into play and bring the run across, that is what Coach Scannell would describe as winning baseball.
Lustina brings the bat back on the bunt. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Ball hits the turf. Doesn't entice Lustina to swing, so 1 ball, 1 strike. Hard hit ground ball past the dive of the shortstop. Lazera, a wide turn of second. He'll stick around there, but the hit parade continues. 8 of them now for the Tigers.
Michael Lustina feeling it. Gonna get on that one, find a way through the gap. Thought Tillman had a shot at that. Just gonna find a way under his glove. As the Trinity has 2 aboard, and we will have a meeting for Concordia.
Things have unraveled a little bit for the pitcher Brockner. He had retired 8 in a row, 2 consecutive clean innings after getting out of the bases loaded pickle. But the Tigers have come to bat in the bottom of the 5th, already put a run across, have runners on 1st and 2nd, and there is just 1 out in this inning. So we're seeing a little of that Tiger offense that showed up yesterday for their largest output, tied for their largest output of the year so far.
Yeah, I've scored 7 runs in both of the games in this series. Trying to do it again. They have a runner in scoring position, trying to extend this lead. But still, even in game 1 where they had 7 runs, an opportunity to have so much more. Just trying to find a way to bring those guys in, and with 1 out and a guy on second, an opportunity to bring at least another one in now.
Umpire breaks up the meeting at the mound. He blends in quite well with the blue.
So we see that a lot from Concordia. They like to bring the entire infield in and have really a group conversation. An interesting tradition. They let the starting pitcher hand the bullpen pitcher the ball. Not seeing that yet, but eventually you'll see it in this game.
Gore fakes a bunt attempt. Gets ahead in the count 1-0. Gore already set 1 deep for a double. Tinker nearly got 1 out of here as well. It was a triple. We said the wind is starting to howl and the weather warming up. Can Gore get 1 out of here? Leans down to take that one for a strike. Excellent look at the senior there. Ball too low. Gore patiently looking for his pitch. Not chasing. Brockner checks on Lazera at second. Does so again. And it looks like he's going to be called for that, for taking too long to deliver. That's a new rule this year in Division 3 and across divisions. You have to deliver it under 20 seconds once you're on the rubber. And he took too long, so ball 3. 3-1 the count to Ezra Gore. Goes down to get it, but sends it foul to that good contingency of Tiger fans near the line.
I believe that's the second time we've seen that rule enforced. The pitcher being called for a ball. Now a full count here. Big spot for Ezra Gore.
Waits back and draws the walk. So thanks to the ball that was called on taking too long to deliver, Gore gets a little bit of an advantage, and he takes advantage to load the bases for Michael Montreza. And look out, because he likes to swing early.
Likes to swing early, reached a few times already today. And a big opportunity, bases loaded, trying to blow this thing open.
Already a 3-1 lead for Trinity. First pitch strike to Montreza, who is in his 5th year. Not all of them have been at Trinity, but he definitely feels the responsibility coming into the season, telling me that he sees himself as a leader and he wants to do what he can to help the team win and grow. And here he sends it to third, right to the third baseman, and it's a double play. Flynn to Hahn to Armstrong. So the super senior retired for 2 outs, as Brockner, once again, the base is loaded, seems to be when he gets his best stuff out there.
Second time Trinity's had them loaded. Second time they've come up empty. This time Concordia getting 2 outs at once. Turned 2 of them in game 1. Those proved to be huge. This one, same deal.
So the Falcons stay in there right with the Tigers, even though they put 1 across, just down 2 as they come to bat in the top of the 6th. We'll be back after a brief rest. Come back a little early to talk about that man you see right there, number 28, Tyler Pettit. How nice it is to see him warming up the pitcher. Has not appeared yet, but just know a .359 hitter with 11 home runs last year. First team all-region, still on tap for the Tigers at some point very soon.
Absolutely fully cleared the catch, working on his swing. Trying to get involved with some live ABs soon. As Tyler Pettit, his return seems imminent at this point. It's forced Nick Lazera to practice first base a little bit, trying to find a way to get his bat into the lineup too.
Daniel Hahn looks at a ball. Second hole hitter will act as the leadoff hitter after Concordia scored 1 in the last half. Really missed an opportunity, though, for more. Bunt, pulled back, ball 2. The Falcons got an RBI double, and they had runners on second and third with just 1 away. A fly ball from Hawkinson. It was shallow in the outfield, so the runner at third did not tag, but the runner at second was off for third, and it caused confusion. Ended up in a double play to end the inning. And with the offense struggling to get runs on the board, it is not what the Falcons want to see.
No, not what the Falcons want to see. And it's the second time something like that's happened. In game 1, Sean Tillman trying to take an extra base, trying to go for third, ended up getting thrown out on his way there by Ezra Gore. And that ended up costing Concordia some potential runs. So not the first time we've seen that between Trinity and Concordia this series.
Hahn flies it to right, dealing with the fence and making the catch. Verver, while also running into that wired fence. What a play. Let's see the replay.
Unbelievable catch by Trey Verver, able to somehow hang on to that despite hitting his head on the fence. as he got up and is going to stay in this game. Hat and sunglasses are on for number 22. So thankfully he seems to be fine, but that was a scary sight. As the bullpen moved in, foul territory out there in right field, a lot shorter than it would normally be.
That is the ultimate sacrificing of your body for the out. Shows just how tough Trey Verver is. And you're right on it, Cole. This entire setup, new for everyone. Turf, bullpens, hitting tunnel. And that visiting bullpen now jets out way more into right field than it ever has. Barely any foul territory, and Verver just discovered that. Verver has to wait on the line drive to get to him as Tillman ropes one into right for a base hit. Falcons get another runner on. And Verver, have to imagine, still recovering from that hit.
Still recovering, seems fine there. You know, not a full go throw once he got that ball, but still a throw made accurately. As we're going to have a meeting here with Dave Smith. But Trey Verver, thankfully okay. You wonder how much of that's adrenaline. But, so you're going to see it again. But that's going to be it for Jackson Tier, it looks like.
So the right fielder helps him get the first out of the 6th inning. But after the base hit from Tillman, it'll do it for Jackson Tier. Just one run across. He's responsible for the runner at first. And we're going to have a new man on the mound. So we'll take a break to find out who it is and give them a moment to warm up. Looks like it's Clayton Jackson. So let's see him warm up.
Now pitching for Trinity, number 18, Clayton Jackson.
Jurgensen will be the one to greet Clayton Jackson. First pitch from Jackson gets away from Lazera. Runner off for second. Tillman thinking about it, but sticking around there. Falcons animated in the dugout, trying to make their way back into this game. It'll be the pitcher, Clayton Jackson, the sophomore from the Dallas area, Allen, Texas to be exact. He has turned into a go-to arm late in ball games after not pitching at all last year, and fires one past the swing of Jurgensen for strike one.
Did not pitch at all last season already. 3 innings in the middle of his 4th right now. Only 2 hits in those 3 innings. 3 walks allowed and 1 strikeout for number 18. As Clayton Jackson now a regular coming out of this bullpen.
That one looked like it hit something, whether Jurgensen or the bat, apparently not.
I think that's going to be a check swing foul. I thought it might have caught in his hands, but it doesn't look like they're going to give him the base.
A 2-1 count. Ball got away from Lazera, and the runner Tillman didn't advance, so an awkward-looking play there, and yet another one as he barely tips it off the catcher. Tillman has been knocking the cover off the baseball today. Couple of hits, the latest one a line drive into right, now at second base. Hoping Jurgensen can drive him home. The 2-2 on the way, perfectly placed by Jackson.
Clayton Jackson, 1K on the season coming into this game, make it 2. As a good pitch up in the zone.
Next up for Concordia, number 38, Matt Miller.
Trying to come in and strand Sean Tillman at second base.
It'll be up to Matt Miller. Check swing foul. We've seen a couple of those. More action in the Tiger bullpen as Jackson enters for the first time. That's Jonathan Newman. Miller waits back on a breaking ball, and it's an 0-2 count. Jackson throwing nothing but strikes after that first one got away from him in the turf. Oh, 2 to Miller. Tap foul.
First year, a tough challenge for any pitcher so far, as he already has 4 hits in his young Falcon career.
0-2 misses outside. Tillman, big secondary lead, now makes his way back. Jackson, not only someone who had not pitched last year, but when it came to the spring preseason, really Coach Scannell hadn't even seen him pitch. Neither had Coach Waters, because he got hurt at the end of his high school career and has battled his way back, now a sophomore in the game, and that's another strikeout for Clayton Jackson. 2 hitters, 2 Ks. He'll take that ratio any day of the week and twice on Sunday. A 3-1 Trinity lead headed to the bottom of the 6th. Both teams making calls to the bullpen in this inning after Clayton Jackson came in for Jackson Tier. The Falcons going to the bullpen as well in the form of Holter Getty. The sophomore from Batavia, Illinois, finishes his warm-up and will circle around ready to face this Tiger offense.
Now pitching for Concordia, number 12, Holter Getty.
And it'll be interesting to see what the change does to the lineup. because right away, a change, a left-handed hitter coming in as soon as the left-handed pitcher went away. It'll be Ty Preston. Preston checking in for Hunter Nevels. First pitch to Preston, a strike outside.
And you got to wonder how much of this change is going to be dependent on if Trey Verver, who's due up in 2 at-bats, is going to be in there or not. As Ty Preston, a guy who can fill into the outfield.
Ball gets away from Getty there, who made 3 appearances a year ago. Just 3 1/3, 4 hits allowed, and an ERA that he will sure like to deflate this year. 18.9. Another ball thrown to Preston, 2-1 the count. Tries to check his swing. It'll be a strike anyway. Count 2-2 on Preston. Lays back on that one. Preston started the year with a base hit in the first 5 games. He was the only Tiger to do so. Then some pinch hit opportunities late in the game. Just 1 at bat against Hardin Simmons and 1 didn't get a hit. And now will not get one here. A strikeout for Getty to start the frame. Preston will take a seat. And we get 1 step closer to seeing if Verver will stay in the game.
A good start for Concordia defensively for this inning. Trying to hold this deficit, keep it at 2, as they've done such a great job staying in these games all series long. They let game 2 get away from them at the end, but for the most part, Trinity got up to a 4-0 lead. Concordia was able to battle back a little bit. A 3-run game for most of the frames. Ended 7-1, but really not indicative of the way most of that game felt in terms of its closeness.
And on Friday, Tigers having to pull off that comeback late. So it really has been one that could have gone either way. Getty's delivery a little high. 2-1 count to Harris. Junior from Katy, Texas is 0 for 2. Hits it to short. Tillman. The pick by Armstrong, out number 2.
Yeah, just going to get on top of this one. Grounder right to where Tillman was. Handles it easily. And gets the second out of this inning. And it will be Jack Peterson in instead of Trey Verver.
So there's your answer. Trey Verver, the right-handed hitting right fielder, took a massive hit into the fence last inning, making a play, somehow held on to the ball. I truly have no idea how. And I guess we don't know for sure if it's being pinch hit for because of just being a righty and then a lefty now in Peterson, or because he's feeling some effects of that. But either way, Peterson, the first at bat of the game, falls behind 0-2. Wanting to go high, not going to get it there. Peterson to second, though. Hahn has it and gets the speedy Peterson for the 3rd out of the inning. A 1-2-3 frame for the bullpen pitcher, Getty. That's exactly what his team needed, and they get it. So we're headed to the top of the 7. Trinity 3, Falcons 1.
the 7th, leading off for the Falcons, the catcher number 4, Dylan Fike.
Catcher Fike will look to get it going for the Falcons in the top of the 7th. They're down 2. And they face a pitcher in Clayton Jackson, who came in with mop-up duty, and mop-up he did. 2 hitters, 2 strikeouts. Replacing Jackson Tier, today's starting pitcher, who gave up 1 run, 5 1/3. And now Jackson will look to send it to later in the game, whether it's he who finishes it out or someone else behind him. Doing his job so far.
Yeah, so far we saw Jonathan Newman warming up in that last inning. Was wondering if he would come in and Clayton Jackson would only get the 1 inning. But Jackson in for the 7th, trying to add another inning to his resume.
Breaking ball, grounded foul. Another breaking ball. This one hangs up there. Fike sends it the other way. The new right fielder is Ezra Gore, and he has room to make the catch. So the alignment so far after the changes, Preston, the pinch hitter, out in left. Peterson, who came in for Verver, in center. And Gore has moved over from center to right before making that catch.
Yep, change in the defensive alignments. Trey Verver getting taken out of the game, hitting his head on the fence. Pretty understandable that would happen. Though was able to finish out that inning. Something similar happened in right field as well. Cole Aguirre running into the right field back wall, where Trinity honors their World Series teams. Was able to get up and stay in the game. Obviously very different, padded wall versus metal fence. But Aguirre able to finish that game.
Down the line and fair here for Flynn. He loses his helmet on the way to second, but that's a stand-up double. Pounds the turf. As the Falcons are delighted, they have a runner on second with just 1 away. Really close there along the third base bag. And the bounce breaks for Flynn.
Yep, gets the good bounce, loses his cap, but able to comfortably get into second. Now let's see what Concordia can do with it. Both of these teams not capitalizing on as many opportunities as they probably could have with runners in scoring position. Going to try and change that and cut into this deficit.
Falcons 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Armstrong takes a ball to start his at-bat. He got a base hit the last time he stepped up to the plate. It was a single to left. He then was unable to score, though, on the RBI double from Niefelt. He had to stick around at third. Takes another ball here, but that was a big deal, Cole. We didn't feel it at the time, but him not scoring the second run on the double then allowed that little conundrum on the base pass for the Falcons that cost them more runs. We'll see if he can help his team make up for it here in the top of the 7th. Ahead in the count 2-0, tying run at the plate. Fastball dotted on the outside corner. Jackson gets back in at 2-1.
Now the Falcons this series finding weird ways not to score. Talked about in game 1, Sean Tillman getting caught trying to go for third base by Ezra Gore in right field at the time. And then, as you put it, the conundrum today with one runner tagging and going, the other one not. Is trying to bring somebody in from scoring position now.
After the foul ball, Jackson evens up the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gave up the double to Flynn. Now facing the first baseman, who sends it that way and into right field. Gore will charge it and make the throw. Flynn heading home, and he slides in safely. Falcons score their second run of the afternoon as Armstrong, 2 hits and an RBI now.
Flying high, able to bring that runner in. Cut this deficit in half, 3-2 now, as Flynn slides for the finish.
And what an excellent job by Armstrong to not try to do too much with it, just flick it the other way. And it was all the Falcons needed to send Clayton Jackson out of the game. So a pitching change on the way for the Tigers. They're hanging on to a 3-2 lead, but the Falcons charging. Jonathan Newman will take over, and we'll stick around right here because I want to take some time to just thank every single person who has been a part of this weekend at Trinity University, Tiger Network, and just everything. CalGuard Gym, the baseball field, the softball, the track and field meet. Let's run through it a little bit, right? What's gone on this weekend? We had a home track and field meet at the football stadium. That was 2 days long. That takes a ton of work. So many teams in town taking up parking spots, taking up space on campus, but everything went perfectly. Softball hosts a doubleheader on Friday. Baseball has had a 3-game series this weekend at home. And all of that on top of a massive NCAA tournament weekend. The women's basketball team hosting the round of 64 and the round of 32. We had UT Dallas, we had Redlands, Hardin-Simmons in town. And yesterday, the Trinity Tigers winning against Hardin-Simmons to advance to the Sweet 16. But so much going on means so many people behind the scenes have had to make it happen. And so it's going to be impossible to name everybody, but just really want to thank everybody who has made it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. For those of you who tuned in to Game 1 and Game 2, Josh Michigamba, who was on the call with me especially, doing about 3 things at once while he was on the air. It's pretty impressive to watch sitting next to him. I'm just, you know, calling it things as I see them on the field, but he's switching cameras and then putting out several fires all around the control room with the basketball game as well. As we appreciate everybody who worked in the control room this weekend and this year as well.
Yeah, Ryan Cedillo yesterday saying he got to campus at 7 in the morning for a choir concert and then stayed until 10 or 11 p.m. at least after that game ended for basketball. Some other names come to mind. Seth Asbury in charge of facilities here at Trinity. Jonathan Newman's first pitch, a ball. Want to keep going though, just a few more names. Harrison Lalone, Justin Parker, Sam Demon. The SIDs here at Trinity, among the ones that worked the hardest to make it happen. So we hope you've enjoyed either a little of the action or all of the action if you've tuned in. And those are some of the people that have made it happen. So now back in action. The pitch from Newman misses for ball 2. The bunt was shown there by Niefelt. Instead, he gets ahead 2-0.
Yeah, good start here. An opportunity to tie this game. Trying to find a way to bring that runner over. Have 2 outs to make it happen.
He already drove 1 in with a double. And he takes a close one there that he doesn't agree with. Instead of 3-0, it's 2-1. A big swing there in the at-bat.
That is a big call. As you got to see it here, that pitch looks high and outside. Good frame by Lazara.
Newman's pitch, skied up in the air. It's in no man's land. But the catch is made. And then careful there, getting back into first.
As it seems like Ezra Gore got a hold of that one, but you said it, no man's land, location, 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 as it looks like this one's gonna fall. Gore able to call it. We saw a communication error in Game 1 between Colt Harris and Ezra Gore for who would catch a ball in that area, but this time Gore able to call him off clearly and take charge in catching that one.
Runner has to get back. Trying to get an exact glimpse at who that pinch runner is because it's no longer Armstrong, but the bright blue uniforms making it hard to tell. The blue numbers as well. Falcons trying to add a little speed to the base pass with that tying run at first. The top of the order, Hawkinson. Hitting with 2 outs, already a runner cross. Another one on the outside part goes the way of the Tigers, so Newman will certainly take that strike zone. Looks like it's Jack Owens over there. Number 3. Getting a lengthy lead, not taking off. But he will with this ground ball. Lustina, the throw, not in time. Tinker tried his best to stretch it out, but Hawkinson, the deer, fully running down the line.
Runs like a deer on defense, but offense too. Able to pull a great 90. And an important job to reach, as you can see clearly on that camera angle, did so in time. And now 2 runners on board for the Falcons.
2 runners on board, and that tying run, now you can see it clearly. Number 3, Owens, the tying run at second. It'll be Hahn at the plate, dealing with Newman. Throws in a little strike there to start the at-bat. Jonathan Newman, the junior from Pearland, Texas. Another arm we have gotten so used to seeing late in ball games when it's tight. Newman, someone who is in there. Blows it by Hahn. Gets ahead 0-2.
But think about how important that base running is from Hawkinson. Inning could have been over, but able to barely extend it. And Hahn, even though he's down 0-2, a chance to potentially tie this game with 1 single.
He's behind. No balls, 2 strikes. Newman wanted it. Lazera couldn't quite bring it far enough. Hahn stays alive. Flynn doubled down the line. Armstrong brought him in. Led to the pitching change before a fly out. And then that infield single. How will the 7th conclude? The 1-2 swing and a miss. Strike 3. Jonathan Newman gets out of it and strands a pair of Falcons. It's time to stretch in San Antonio, and the Tigers will do so ahead 3-2.
For Concordia in the top of the 7th, 1 run on 3 hits. There were no errors. 2 players left on base. Headed to the bottom of the 7th. Trinity 3, Concordia 2. Bottom of the 7th, leading off for the Tigers, designated hitter, number 6, Christian Holloway.
You hear it again, the announcement, the music, although it played just a brief moment to start this 7th inning. Christian Holloway trying to break the rhythm of Getty, who came in from the bullpen and retired 3 Tigers very quickly. Now he sees his team a little bit closer, down just 1, has to keep it right there if you're Concordia. Misses up and in with that ball.
Talked about Getty's ERA being above 18. Did not look like it in that last inning. Able to go 1-2-3.
Loops one in there for a strike. Christian Holloway, 1 for 3, a strikeout. That hit coming way back in the 1st inning. Spits at that one outside. In total command of this at-bat. And that hit the bat, it looks like, from the reaction that Holloway had and the umpire. So full count, 3-2.
We've seen a lot of hits batsmen in this series, particularly in game 1. None today. I believe 2 yesterday between the 2 squads.
The 3-2 pitch line the other way, but foul again. Holloway has to be hating that right field line today.
2nd time he's been on the wrong side of it. Inches away from a hit twice now. So get a good look at it here. Just barely foul.
and a swing and a miss after the foul ball. Getty continues his roll.
Yeah, Getty going to challenge Holloway right there. A pitch, little elevated, but pretty down the middle. Just going to blow it by him.
Now batting for the Tigers, number 44, Corson Hastings.
Third pinch hitter of the afternoon for the Tigers. It is Corson Hastings. First pitch swinging, dangerously foul towards the Tiger dugout. Looks like everybody's okay. Everyone taking a moment just to ensure. Hastings coming in for Kai Tinker, who had a pretty good day considering his defense at first. A couple of nice picks and also a triple. Now subbed out for the left-handed hitter, who fouls a second one straight back. So he falls behind, no balls, 2 strikes. Beautiful curveball by Getty, freezes Hastings, and that's 5 in a row retired by Getty.
And you see the different ways of approaching a strikeout. Gets Holloway by challenging him, going pretty up the middle, but Hastings, a breaking ball towards the outside. And back-to-back Ks for Getty.
And you can see how ready he is, not wasting any time to get back on the rubber. So Lazera doing his best to take his time now. Getty reaches down for some rosin. But if I were pitching like him, I wouldn't want to step off the mound either. Here he goes. First pitch to Lazera. Another breaking ball, another strike.
Doing a great job trying to hold this deficit. 3-2, you're within striking distance, but if you give up another run, it's going to get that much harder for your offense to come back.
And a changeup gets Lazera to swing over the top, so all sorts of movement on these pitches from Getty, confusing the Tiger hitters left and right. 0-2 delivery. That one's just a bit outside. It'll be the 1-2 now. Catcher sets up inside on the catcher. Lazera, a little grounder to short. Tillman charges the throw. In time and on target. That's a new first baseman, Tristan Largent, in for Armstrong after the pinch runner. And he has no trouble receiving this throw. You see the replay. Stretches up there for the out. And that is 6 up, 6 down for Getty.
Yeah, doing a great job holding this deficit. Concordia, Wisconsin, right within striking distance, 1 run away. They've been hanging around all weekend, couldn't get the wins in the first 2 games. Really close to one here.
Can the Falcons fly home with a W? We'll find out after a break. The lead is 3-2 for the Trinity Tigers. Jonathan Newman still the man on the mound, and he's going to have a tough test up to bat. Sean Tillman already 2 for 3, and he has lined everything that has come his way. So Newman will have to be careful. The heart of the Falcon order due up. First pitch strike to Tillman. The senior from Plainfield, Illinois. Will take time here. Oh, maybe not. The quick pitch from Newman misses low. So the umpire didn't grant time to Tillman. Gives a little shrug, and now back in there. Another one misses low, so Tillman gets ahead. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Yeah, we saw Tillman put up his hand like he was going to call time 2 pitches ago. Guess it was not granted, but he will take the result. Back-to-back balls thrown, make it 3.
The Falcon dugout has been animated all afternoon. And they'll continue to get animated. A lead-off walk drawn by Tillman. A pitcher never wants to start an inning with a lead-off walk, so Newman has to be frustrated with that outcome. After getting ahead with 1 strike, 4 straight balls to put him on first and bring the powerful Jurgensen up to bat.
Yeah, and all 4 balls in a pretty similar location. Trying to get him swinging, but Tillman not biting. All of them low and away. And so they'll check on him there.
And Tillman, absolutely a threat to steal last year. 11 stolen bases, caught just twice. Not going anywhere there. The ball misses on Jurgensen. Pick off to keep him close. Swing and a miss on one up in the zone. Might have been a ball had he laid off. Newman has some help on the way behind him if he continues to get in trouble. Michael Bokey. Right now, though, it is JN, Jonathan Newman. Misses up and in. A leadoff walk for Concordia, Wisconsin. Sean Tillman getting on base. And now Jimmy Jurgensen ahead of the count. Takes one low, a close one, but won't do it. 3-1 the advantage now. And listen to the Falcon dugout. 3-1. We'll have to wait. Another pickoff.
And I think you're hearing a large part of the reason they're able to hang around in these games. Still a lot of energy coming from that dugout. It's easy to get bogged down when you're losing, but not these guys.
Foul ball the other way. Takes the count full. A Concordia, Wisconsin team that was under 500 last year, 18-22. They're a proud baseball program out of the Northern Athletic Collegiate Conference. Looking to make some noise in the Lone Star State. The 3-2 swing and a miss. Throw down to second. Gets away. So the runner will be safe, but the strikeout for Newman.
Just going to get him to swing under it. And the throw was there. Just a little behind, not able to hang on to it. As it looked like Tillman collided with Montrez on that one, and we're going to get a mound visit.
Dave Smith grabs the ball from Jonathan Newman, gets the strikeout there. But the leadoff walk does advance to second, so the Falcons will have a runner on second. The tying run with 1 out in the top of the 8th. New pitcher Michael Bokey, and we'll continue to stick right here because we know there are some former players tuning in on Tiger Network. We've had a lot of former players in town this weekend, and the occasion seems to be something very special. So I want to congratulate Michael Goodrich on getting engaged this weekend. He did it in town and had so many of the former Tigers there to congratulate him and celebrate it. I know they were at the field yesterday seeing their former teammates, seeing their former coaches. So the likes of Mason Meredith and Michael Goodrich. So many former Tigers. No, Joel Thomas has been there in the chat, so not here in person. But Jake Martin also here, Brandon Hans, just all sorts of former Tigers who really show that no matter how far they go, Tigers will always be home at this baseball field.
Absolutely, a really proud program here in Trinity. Making the World Series last year, showing that it wasn't just one class that was able to do it, but sticking together as one family. And that's really what being a part of a team is about. You carry those relationships for the rest of your life.
Absolutely, and it's very full circle for me because when I was a freshman, Michael Goodrich was one of the first people that was on this baseball team when I started working around here. And then that first COVID season that I ever worked, he was the catcher, designated hitter, hitting all sorts of bombs left and right, getting on base all the time. And now he graduated after being a super senior, and now he's engaged. So congratulations, Michael Goodrich. Believe we've also caught an eye of some of those that were here yesterday down that third base line. You might have heard us mention a crowded fence over there. Believe a few of them were there. So they are taking in this beautiful Sunday afternoon baseball. And the Tiger fans in attendance hoping that Michael Boki can clean up this situation. A runner on second, just one out, and Matt Miller up at the plate. Tillman led the inning off with a walk. Advanced on a stolen base, but the strikeout of Jurgensen did retire the first one. So the Falcons now just 2 to work with. Breaking ball, strike 1. Michael Boki, the senior from right here in San Antonio. Seems to be the San Antonio connection. When Tier pitches, so does Boki. Can he keep the W in line for the starter? Boki, the 0-1, another breaking ball, another strike. Couldn't hold up, did Miller.
Tried to check his swing, not able to. That breaking ball too enticing. As Boki, best pitch, a swerving breaking ball, but able to locate it on different parts of the zone can make it really difficult for a hitter, even though it's the same basic concept of a pitch.
Ring him up, says the home plate umpire. Matt Miller looks at 3 in a row. And just as Clayton Jackson did, Boki follows suit, coming in from the pen and getting a K to start it off.
Still a breaking ball, a completely different type. This one going to take a dip, as those other ones going to cut into the zone. Michael Boki showing the diversity he has in his stuff, even though it's all breaking.
Why change if it's working? He keeps going to it, and so far the Falcons haven't had an answer. Can Fike find a response here? He's down 0-1. Got to see 3 breaking balls thrown to the previous hitter Miller. Does he make an adjustment? Boki checks on the runner, goes with the curve. It's put into play. The center fielder, Peterson, plenty of time. Out number 3, and the Tigers stay on top, 3-2. Headed to the bottom of the 8th.
For Concordia at the top of the 8th. No runs, no hits, no errors. One player left on base, headed to the bottom of the 8th. Trinity leads 3-2. Leading off for the Tigers. Third baseman number 21, Michael Lucina.
4, 5, 6 due up for the Tigers. Trying to build on a 1-run advantage. But it has been hard to come by on the bullpen pitcher, Holter Getty, the sophomore from Batavia, Illinois. Replaced the starter, Luke Brockner. And he has not allowed a Tiger to reach base at all. 2 clean innings along with 3 strikeouts. So he has done his job to keep his Falcons very much in this game. Does fall behind Lustina here. But the sophomore, after a little bit of a rocky freshman year, starting his 2nd year in college, on a positive note, misses outside here, so it's a 3-0 count, but he has definitely impressed thus far.
Absolutely, not allowing another run, holding this deficit to exactly where it was when he got in there. His offense able to get one back for him. Still some work to do for the Falcons, though, as he's just got to hold this deficit to 1. So this offense came up with their last chance to tie or take the lead.
Big swing by Lustina, a foul ball towards right. He certainly has the power. Head coach Tim Scannell showering him with compliments before the year got going. Someone that even as just a sophomore will get plenty of opportunities. Patiently there, looks at a ball, was really enticing. That changeup has gotten a few Tigers to swing over the top, but not Lustina.
Yeah, especially with 2 strikes, it can be really tempting to at least try and tap that foul, but able to hold off and take his base. Now it's up to Trinity to bring him over and in.
First one to try to do so will be Ezra Gore. Not before a visit to the mound, though, as this is the first base runner to reach on Getty. The veteran catcher Fike will just want to make sure he settles in. Doesn't think too hard about giving up that walk. That's a senior behind the dish in Dylan Fike, so he knows what he's talking about. Been there, done that. Now heads back into his crouch ahead of the at-bat for Gore. Although, let's keep waiting just a moment. Now, a visit to the mound from the coaching staff will make us wait a little longer.
Once again, the whole infield coming in, really a community meeting. We have yet to see this series just a pitcher-catcher-coach meeting. So the rest of those blue jerseys coming in, if they can. This seems to be just a chat. Nope, it will be a change.
It will. Here comes another blue jersey from the bullpen. So after the leadoff walk, Getty, tough luck for him. Retires 6 in a row, then the first one he doesn't leads to his exit. So we'll take a brief break as the Falcons make the pitching change. Don't go anywhere, though. Just a 1-run ball game. Ezra Gore taking a trip to the batter's box and facing a new pitcher, Chris Rooney, although not very new for him. He got to face him earlier in the series, so he's a little bit familiar. Has a runner on first in Lustina, who has a big lead, not going anywhere though, and then the bunt laid down. Rooney has to come get it, bobbles it, and doesn't get the runner in time. That little moment in which Rooney couldn't grab handle of the ball was more than enough for the speedy Gore to reach first.
Yeah, this is not a bunt to reach. He's going to bunt this first base side. Foley just trying to get Lustina over to second, but he'll take what he can get as Rooney just cannot quite field that cleanly. And that little bobble with the speedy Gore had 19 stolen bases last season. Going to take first base there.
First two runners reach for the Tigers in the bottom of the 8th, desperately looking for an insurance run. Michael Montreza had the bases loaded earlier, grounded into a double play. What does he do here? A bunt, a sacrifice, perfectly placed at third, and that is a job well done, sir. The shortstop gives himself up and moves the runner over to second and third.
Yep, third base side allows those two runners to get over. Now the Tigers with one out have two in scoring position, trying to knock in another one and make it that much more difficult for Concordia to come back into this game.
Next up for the Tigers, number 20, Ty Preston.
Ty Preston came into the game as a pinch hitter, but as tends to be the case, he finds himself at the center of the action. And here's another one of those community meetings at the mound. Will it be an immediate change or a conversation?
And it will be a change. So a quick outing for Chris Rooney.
Now pitching for
So all he does is pitch to a pair of bunts. One was able to reach in Gore. Montreza able to get the sacrifice down. And that'll be it for Chris Rooney. Tigers have runners on second and third, up one, trying to cash in some more. And what a beautiful day for baseball it has been, Cole, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Beautiful night last night. We've been having good weather in San Antonio lately in the 70s. Know it's going to get hotter a little later in the year, but taking this good weather while we can get it.
Max Niebel will be the latest to enjoy it, the new pitcher who will take over another lefty. So going to his toolbox here, the coaching staff for Concordia saying, we see your chess moves, we will respond. You put in all those lefty hitters, including Preston, so we'll respond with a lefty pitcher. But it'll take some time still to warm up. And you know, Dorothy once said, right, there's no place like home. The Tigers have really taken that to heart. They're still in the middle of a 17-game homestand to start the year. Seems like they're never going to leave. And thankfully for us, they're not leaving anytime soon. After this 3-game series concludes today, we're right back at it on Tuesday night against the University of Texas, Dallas. And then right back at it on Wednesday against DeSales before a week-long spring break. And they're still not gone after that spring break. Conference play will start against Austin College a week and a half later. So what that means for you at home, more Tiger baseball ahead.
Absolutely, Brian, getting a midweek game for the first time this season. We know Coach Scannell very excited for those. Texas-Dallas, that's going to be a playoff rematch. The regional last season where the Tigers took the best of 5 series, 3-1, despite allowing 30 runs in one game. So all of that in store coming up here in San Antonio.
First pitch to Preston from Niebel, a slow breaker in the turf. Niebel, someone else who appeared on Friday night. Didn't record an out, allowed a hit and a run. And right now put into a crucial spot against Ty Preston. We'll get the lefty-on-lefty matchup. Had one ball, no strike, and he sends this one to left field. It's gonna go to the outfielder's glove. Able to range over there, but the throw well behind, so Lustina will come around to score. The Tigers manufacturing a run. Sacrifice bunt, sacrifice fly, sacrifice run.
Baseball, Brian, find a way to bring runs in. Does not always have to be a powerful swing. You get a guy on, find a way to get him over and bring him in. That's exactly what they do with Lustina, who draws the walk, bunt to get him over, sac fly.
It's almost like these Tigers have learned a thing or two about this new turf. Using it to their advantage, learning it as it goes, knowing that the runs are going to be hard to come by, and they are earning each and every one, 4 of them now, to make the lead 2. Colt Harris still has a runner in scoring position. Gore over there at second. Ball in the turf. Niebel coming into a tough jam, so hard to blame him.
Yeah, able to get the out. I think the big thing for him is to not give anything too crucial. A hit would have scored 2 runs, so the sac fly, much better outcome, keeping this to a 2-run deficit as opposed to a 3-run deficit. As the Falcons trying to stay as close as they can. Then we know they have the offensive firepower to get right back in this game, and more importantly, the resilience to get back in it as well.
Harris doesn't have to swing if he doesn't want to. A 3-ball, no-strike advantage, and then the throw. That's going to be a balk, shouldn't it? After the rule change?
Well, we've had this conversation, me and Joss did, I think it was yesterday. Still curious about that new rule because we've seen some fakes to second base not called as balks, so probably another nuance that we're not quite aware of yet, but either way, ball 4 is Colt Harris will reach.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to get clarification on that because coming into the season, we were told the new rule, if the pitcher wanted to pick off second and he made the attempt, he really had to follow through with the throw or else the runner could advance. Although there, the first time we've seen it held up. So we'll get clarification on that sooner rather than later. And like we said, plenty of home games to clear it out. But for now, a walk on Harris, and now Peterson will get the lefty-lefty matchup. Big swing over the top of that one. Peterson not in the starting lineup today against a left-handed starter in Brockner. But now he'll get the chance to show he can go up against a lefty as well. Nearly nicks him. Instead, ball 1. Another looper, misses low, so Peterson jumps in front 2-1. Gore out there at second. Harris newly over there at first. It was a Gore bunt that gave the Falcons some issues defensively. And the sacrifice bunt, sacrifice fly led to the 4th run of the game. Peterson wants to make it a high 5 here. The 2-1 delivery on the way. Another one that nearly hits Peterson. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Good patience from Jack Peterson in this at-bat. As do not want to lose him here if you're Niebel. First base not open and would load the bases. In danger of doing that here with 1 pitch.
And it would load it for the top of the order as well. So a big pitch, 3-1, lined into right field over the outstretched reach of Hahn. In comes Gore to score. Harris over to third, and Peterson comes through with an RBI single. Lefty on lefty, no problem for the center fielder.
No problem for the center fielder, indeed. We also saw Ty Preston get a decent piece of a ball, lefty on lefty. Just able to find the gap right over the glove of Danny Hahn. I thought he might have a chance to make that play. Just over it, though. And going to extend this lead for Trinity. And that's what good teams do. Find a way to extend leads, add insurance runs, and bury teams when they can.
So Coach Scannell pushed some buttons earlier, putting his lefties into pinch hit. Coach Morgan followed up, thinking he'll get right back at him with the lefty pitcher. But it goes the way of Coach Scannell. And after 25 years in San Antonio, it seems like he knows a thing or two.
It feels that way, as it looks like there will be another change. 3rd one of this inning.
Trinity up 5-2 now. They still have runners at the corners. 2 outs, but they have come through with 2 outs. And the new pitcher, Jack Rebernick from Menominee Falls, Wisconsin, will try to limit the damage here. But this break does allow us to talk a little bit about head coach Tim Scannell, who joked with us at the beginning of this year saying, when we asked, why do you keep coming back 25 years in one place? You must love it. And he says he's definitely grown to love it, but at the beginning of his career here at Trinity, being from the Northeast, coming from Northeastern, he would go home in the summer to coach in the Cape Cod League, and he says that every time he would drive home, and leave San Antonio, he would look in the rearview mirror and wave it goodbye, thinking he wouldn't come back because he's such a Northeastern guy, a New Englander at heart. But we're in the year 2023. He's been here 25 years, and he hasn't said goodbye to the Alamo City yet.
Yeah, sorry, Coach Scandal. I think you've been in Texas long enough, or I don't know if you're full Texan. You're definitely still a Northeastern guy, but at least part Texan now, I would say. Been here long enough. But a lot of success with this program. Really happy to have him here. And we personally really appreciate the access that he gives us into practice every week. Graciously talking to us every week, him and Coach Smith and Brian Waters as well. Had some good chats with him too. And it's just been great to hang around the organization and learn about the guys, especially the coaching staff.
Absolutely, Cole. We do it so that we can bring you the best of all the information, get to know the guys, get to know the coaches on both sides. Also have to thank all the opposing coaches who, from the beginning of last year, no opposing coach has not responded to our emails and calls, so that's what allows us to have information about them as well. And for Coach Scannell, there's a reason. He has 18 30-plus win seasons, including 2 World Series appearances and a World Series win back in 2016. Tigers hoping to get there sooner rather than later, and looking to get to an 8-4 start if they can wrap up this W. Holloway takes one in the turf. The runner Peterson going on the pitch, and he'll take it easily. An RBI single and a stolen base for Peterson.
Has yet to be caught stealing, undefeated in that category for Jack Peterson. Has puts himself into scoring position now for the Tigers to try and further extend this lead.
Ball misses outside for the new pitcher, Reburnick.
This is a big spot for him. Trinity already getting 2 runs in this inning. If they were to get 2 more with a single here, that would put this game pretty far out of reach for Concordia.
And there's one the opposite way. It falls for a base hit. Holloway drives in a pair and really blows this one open. 7-2 the lead for the Tigers.
3rd straight game with 7 runs. You feel this offense getting it together, finding ways to manufacture runs. And that's been the story of this inning. The bunts that were able to get them over and able to manufacture runs in different ways. And Holloway able to really throw the dagger into what could be a potential Tigers sweep here. Up 7-2.
And it just continues to be not trying to do too much. Holloway has absolutely rifled a pair of balls down the right field line. They have not fallen for him fair. So what does he do? Well, he takes some off of it in his final at-bat here in the 8th, and he gets 2 RBI to show for it. So just taking the ball where it comes from, likely was a ball. They're not a strike in the zone whatsoever, but Holloway still able to find some grass. Hastings going the other way, but this one finds the glove of the shortstop, Tillman. But the Tigers erupt for 4 runs in the bottom of the 8th, and they are 3 outs away from a clean sweep. So you might want to find your brooms after this break.
2 hits with 1 error, 1 player left on base. After 8 complete, Trinity now leads 7-2. Top of the 9th, leading off for Concordia, 3rd baseman number 6, Kyle Flynn.
Kyle Flynn represents the 3 last chances for the Falcons, and he's the first of them. Now a 5-run deficit for the Falcons as that slider doesn't reach the zone. But that 8th inning, Cole, continues to be a good one for the Trinity Tigers.
Absolutely. 8th inning outbursts offensively for Trinity. 3 runs last night in what was a 3-run game for most of the game in game 2. And today, a 1-run game headed into that 8th inning. Trinity able to tack on 4 and make it really difficult for the Birds in Blue to come back.
Flynn looks at a strike, puts the count at 2 balls, 1 strike. Music City native fouls it back into the net. And if I'm hearing you correctly, Cole, you're saying 7 runs, a theme. In the 8th inning, a theme. So 7-8. Now we're in the 9. 7-8-9. Works out well for the Tigers.
Indeed. Trying to, as you said, bust out the broom.
And waving at that one and missing by a mile is Flynn. Had no shot at the bogey breaker. Take a look at this one. Into another orbit. Ready for the Comets to come into town on Tuesday. And that's the first out of the inning.
First out of the inning, using that breaking ball very effectively. Gets on the outside of the zone, able to chase. And Michael Bokey, similar to Jack Martinez, was probably stewing in that bullpen, or in the dugout, I should say, getting ready to come out in a close game, but then the offense able to blow it open. And then all of a sudden, not the high pressure situation anymore.
I'm sure he won't complain. First at-bat of the afternoon for Tristan Largent, who came in for Armstrong, now playing first, not happy with the strike call.
You know, kind of a weird sweep for Concordia, if the score turns out to be this way. We're in every game, as that one's going to hit them, but we're in every game for the most part, especially game 1, back and forth. They went, Tigers taking the lead in the 8th inning, which obviously a successful inning for Trinity throughout this series. But the Falcons showing their ability to hang around. It's just the game getting away from them late.
Still have 2 outs to work with to try to change the narrative. It'll be up to the number 9 hitter, Neefelt, who drove in a run with the double, has to get his elbow out of the way there. Senior from Roscoe, Illinois. This is a look at the previous at-bat that hit Largent. Now the pitch to Neefelt, a strike. Bokey on the mound, mentioned he's from San Antonio, just like Jackson Tier. And that has been a crucial connection early on. Breaking ball, fouled back, but Coach Smith really the one cluing us in on it. Jackson Tier, not just transferring from A&M Kingsville, but transferring this spring. So he has not been here all that long, just a couple of months now. But as soon as he transferred during the winter break, there is not very many people around town or campus other than Michael Bokey being from San Antonio. And so Coach Smith saying that Bokey and Tier grew really, really close because they would come out to the field, they would toss together, throw in partnership. And ever since then, it has been hard to separate the two. So it is only fitting that for the second time already this year, Bokey is the one at the back end of a Jackson Tier start. The San Antonio connection, puro San Antonio 2-1-0 all the way.
Yeah, the San Antonio connection working well in the Alamo City. Trying to close out this victory, but Jackson Tier just talking about how supportive the team has been.
Little chopper, won't go to second. We'll take the easy out at first. 1 away from a sweep.
But talking about how supportive the team has been. Just saying how it wasn't too much of an adjustment because the guys have been so welcoming. And Michael Bokey, a big part of that.
Absolutely. It cannot be easy to come from an entirely different school. And not only to a new school, but a new team. You know how close teams can get. But Bokey really helping Tier out in more ways than one. Off the field and now trying to do it on the field as well. 2 outs, runner on second. Tigers a 5-run lead. And that frisbee continues to slide for Bokey. Hawkinson represents the final chance for the Falcons as the Trinity Tower rings in the background, the 2 o'clock hour. Bokey misses up. Frisbee this time won't be called a strike. First time the Falcons have been able to really lay off of it. Hawkinson 1 for 4 on the afternoon. Trying to keep the chain moving for Concordia, Wisconsin. Look at the movement on that one. Able to lay off of it, but it is just stunning how much it floats.
Yeah, the same concept of a pitch, but he's able to kind of almost put it at like different angles. He's able to allow it to sweep horizontally across the zone, that one towards the middle, but he's also able to drop it straight down.
Drops it into the strike zone there. It's a full count. Tigers up 5, 2 outs in the 9th, and the Falcons down to their final strike. Can Hawkinson keep it alive? The 3-2 from Boki, fouled back.
Great job getting a piece of that from Hawkinson. Just gets under it, able to skip that ball back and keep this game alive.
The 3-2 again from Boki misses low, so Hawkinson will keep it going for at least one more batter.
We've seen Hawkinson twice extend innings. This time getting a piece of a foul ball and then working a walk. And then earlier in the game, reaching somehow on a ground ball. We thought he was going to get caught for sure. Able to run a great 90, extend that inning.
Ducks here on the breaking ball, but it's a strike. Boki ready to fire again as Hahn takes his time. Now the 0-1 delivery. More movement, but the Falcons getting more used to it, laying off of it. So the count 1-1 with runners on first and second, 2 away in the 9th inning. Tigers lost their opening series to Birmingham Southern. Won it against Hardin-Simmons, won it against Babson. Now looking for their first sweep. They're a strike closer as that one drops in again. The number 10 team in the nation looking to defend their home turf. Hahn awaiting the 1-2. Boki fires and nearly hits him this time. Largent was hit with a pitch. That's why he's on second. Hawkinson able to fight back for the walk. So they're not going quietly. Haven't all weekend long, but can Boki finish here? The 2-2. That'll do it. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And you can get your brooms out, folks. Trinity 7, Concordia, Wisconsin 2. And it's a clean sweep of the Falcons.
Offense really showing their worth in this series. 7 runs in all 3 games. That's tied for their highest total of the season. Had yet to get to that mark before this series, but reaching it all 3 times as Concordia showed their ability to hang in games through game 1, 2, and 3. But Trinity, the 8th inning, the story, able to pull away in all 3 games.
It's a mixed story again, but a mixed bag of success because you don't know whether you talk about the pitching or the hitting. The hitters coming through in key moments. Take a look at Christian Holloway, 2 for 5 with a pair of RBI, but also have Nevels and Preston, Verver, Peterson, Lazera all driving in runs as well. So you can talk about the offense, but it just comes back to the pitching. 5 1/3 from Jackson Tier, 1 run allowed, and then the bullpen shuts it down. Clayton Jackson, Jonathan Newman, Michael Boki combined for 3 2/3 innings, just 1 run allowed to shut down the Falcons and earn this sweep. The positivity starting to be felt more and more at this Trinity baseball turf.
Hey, you can feel the talent oozing from all parts of this ball club, just putting it together and finding a way to get wins. And they did that 3 times in this series. That's why they're on to 8-4 as we head into Tuesday's game against UT Dallas.
That game on Tuesday, what a moment for it to come as the Tigers are getting their momentum, it'll be a rematch of that regional that you talked about with the Comets of UT Dallas. It'll be at 5 p.m. on Tuesday, March 7th. So we hope you tune in just as you have been all weekend long. We've had thousands of viewers across platforms and across sports this weekend on Tiger Network. And we are so grateful that you have chosen to spend some time with us. So thank you again to everyone for tuning in. Thank you to everyone for making it happen. And thank you, Cole, for making this a wonderful return back to the baseball diamond.
Oh, thank you too, Brian.
It's been fun to be in the gym. CalGuard Gym has been rocking. And congratulations to the women's basketball team for moving on to the Sweet 16. But since they're being sent to Tufts and they'll be in Massachusetts, it's officially baseball season in San Antonio. So happy to be with you. And once again, for Cole Isaacson, I'm Brian Yanselson. Have a stellar Sunday afternoon.